Chapter 57 Just a Mad Dog. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hey, beauty, my methods are not comparable to Mtlnovel's. If you follow me, I guarantee that you will experience the joy of being in a state of ecstasy. Snapped. Yu Xiaojie stretched out his hand to touch Hua Yuzhen's face, but Hua Yuzhen reached out and slapped him in the face out of shame and anger. Although the slap was not strong, after being slapped in full view of everyone, Yu Xiaojie suddenly had a ferocious look on his face, pointed at Hua Yuzhen and said sternly, "You stinky bitch, you dare to hit me, catch him." Several followers who were following him immediately rushed over and arrested Hua Yuzhen. Seeing Yu Xiaojie being beaten, Mtlnovel was frightened. He was afraid that he would be angered, so he hurriedly said, "Yu Xiaojie, are you okay? Don't worry, I will take good care of her when I get back." Yu Xiaojie said with a sinister smile on his face, "Even if you want to deal with her, you have to wait until I'm done having fun. Then take her into the bathroom." Hearing this, Mtlnovel immediately breathed a sigh of relief and said to the followers, "Did you hear this? Hurry and get everyone out of the bathroom without disturbing young master Yu." Hua Yuzhen felt like she was struck by lightning. Yu Xiaojie actually wanted to insult her in the bathroom here, and her husband actually helped to wave the flag and shout. This suddenly made her feel that she had fallen into the abyss of despair. At this time, there were already many people watching around. They couldn't bear to see this scene, but no one dared to speak. Although the Yu family is not as good as the four major families, it is not something ordinary people dare to provoke. "Humph, for a scumbag like you, if I wasn't afraid of getting my hands dirty just now, I should have killed you directly." A cold voice sounded. Mtlnovel raised his head and saw Ji Wufeng staring at him with a gloomy face, and immediately glared and said, "Okay, I finally found you, little bastard, Mr. Yu. He was the one who just wanted to spoil my good deeds and even beat me." He was driven away by Ji Wufeng before, but when he met Yu Xiaojie, he immediately felt that he had found a savior and immediately brought someone to help him avenge himself. "Are you the loser?" Yu Xiaojie saw Ji Wufeng's face full of surprise. He had offended Zhang Zhiyao at the Royal Court Club before. Although he ran away with Zhou Zixin, he was sure that Zhang Zhiyao would not let Ji Wufeng go. Even if he did not die, he would be disabled, but now he is doing well. Ji Wufeng looked at Hua Yuzhen and said, "Sister Hua, are you okay?" "Xiao Feng, I'm fine." Seeing Ji Wufeng, Hua Yuzhen looked happy, but suddenly she shook her head and said, "This matter has nothing to do with you, just leave quickly and don't worry about me." It was obvious that she was afraid that Ji Wufeng would be implicated. After all, the Yu family was not easy to mess with. Yu Xiaojie said with a ferocious smile, "Want to leave? It's not that easy." Bang! Ji Wufeng suddenly slapped Yu Xiaojie hard with a big mouth, causing Yu Xiaojie to stumble and spat out a mouthful of blood. Everyone onlookers were stunned. Who is this kid? He actually dared to slap Yu Xiaojie in public. Was this because he wanted to form a deadly feud? "Damn, you damn bastard." Snap! Yu Xiaojie jumped up and cursed, and Ji Wufeng slapped him with another big mouth. "You're looking for death." Snap! Ji Wufeng slapped Yu Xiaojie harder and harder. Finally, Yu Xiaojie flew out with his face covered in blood. He lay on the ground for a long time without getting up. "You loser, if you dare to hit me, I guarantee you will die. You guys will kill him immediately." Yu Xiaojie yelled at several of his followers. Several people immediately pounced on Ji Wufeng. Bang bang bang. His movements were so fast that the tough followers didn't see clearly what was going on and lay on the ground wailing, unable to get up for a long time. Yu Xiaojie was stunned immediately. He didn't expect Ji Wufeng to be so powerful. "I never heard that he knew Kung Fu." Ji Wufeng walked towards Yu Xiaojie, and Yu Xiaojie suddenly trembled all over and said with fear on his face, "What do you want? Let me tell you, if you dare to touch me, you will be dead, not only you, but also your mother, including your sister." Ah! Click! Before he could finish speaking, Ji Wufeng raised his foot and kicked, stepping on his thigh. There was a sound of bones breaking, and his leg was directly broken by Ji Wufeng. Hiss! Seeing Yu Xiaojie rolling on the ground holding his legs and screaming like a slaughtered pig, some people in the crowd gasped. The Yu family would not let it go and would definitely retaliate against such a cruel attack. Some people couldn't help but look at Ji Wufeng, wanting to see who he was and whether he had a strong background and wasn't afraid of the Yu family at all. Finally, someone recognized him. Isn't that Ji Wufeng, the son of Tianxiang Group Qin Yi? Is he really that good-for-nothing prodigal? Is he crazy? If you dare to treat Yu Xiaojie like this, aren't you afraid of the Yu family's revenge? I think he is indeed crazy. Not to mention that Tianxiang Group is facing bankruptcy. Even in its heyday it was no match for the Yu family, that everyone was talking about it. The Tianxiang Group was already on the verge of collapse, and now it has offended the Yu family. When the Yu family takes revenge, the Tianxiang Group will be completely finished. Ji Wufeng walked towards Hua Yuzhen and said, "Sister Hua, let's go." Hua Yuzhen didn't expect that things would develop like this. She was still completely short-circuited in her brain, so she followed Ji Wufeng in a daze. After Ji Wufeng left, Yu Xiaojie took out his phone and yelled, "Call someone over immediately, I'm going to kill that loser." That before Yu Xiaojie's people came, he saw Gao Xinghua and a group of people rushing in fiercely. After seeing Yu Xiaojie, the two looked at each other. It was like a ghost. The two of them were considered masters of walking sideways in Yulio. They were all bullying others, and today they had their hands and feet broken at the same time, by the same person. The onlookers were also stunned. Unexpectedly, Ji Wufeng offended not only Gao Xiangua, but also the two second-generation ancestors. This was completely seeking death. Chen Qihang prepared a VIP lounge for Ji Wufeng. After entering the lounge, Hua Yuzhen came back to her senses, grabbed Ji Wufeng's arm and said eagerly, "Xiao Feng, you are really too impulsive. Yu Xiaojie must avenge himself. We'll definitely take revenge, please leave Yulio as soon as possible." Ji Wufeng smiled and said, "Sister Hua, don't worry, it's just a mad dog, it can't do anything to me. You have no idea that a rich and powerful person like this could actually kill someone." Seeing Ji Wufeng's indifferent expression, Hua Yuzhen almost burst into tears. "Okay, the auction will start soon, let's take a rest first." Ji Wufeng closed his eyes and said, Hua Yuzhen was running around anxiously. If she didn't leave, she might not be able to leave after a while. Boom. At this moment, the door of the lounge was kicked open fiercely, and someone shouted, "Ji Wufeng, get out of here, you useless bastard." Chapter 58, Stealing Chicken but Losing Rice. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I saw Gao Xinghua and Yu Xiaojie rushing in with two gangs of men with fierce looks and weapons. Hua Yuzhen's expression changed immediately. She didn't expect it to come so quickly. Where did this mad dog come from? Why are you barking here? Ji Wufeng frowned and said displeased. "You loser, you dare to be so arrogant when you are about to die, I will chop you into pieces and feed you to the dogs today," Yu Xiaojie said ferociously. "Don't forget, this is the Chen family's place. If you dare to cause trouble here, aren't you afraid that the Chen family will pursue you?" Ji Wufeng asked. "The Chen family does have such rules. Anyone who dares to cause trouble here is a provocation to the Chen family." "Ha ha ha." Gao Xinghua laughed and said, "The Chen family does have such rules, but you don't know what you are. Do you think the Chen family will offend our two families for a loser like you? That if it were anyone else, the two of them would indeed not dare to mess around in the Chen family, but as they said, how could the Chen family offend both families for a good-for-nothing like Ji Wufeng? They were sure that even if Ji Wufeng was killed here today, the Chen family would just pretend not to know." Seeing this scene, Hua Yuzhen bit her lips and stepped forward. "Young Master Gao, young Master Yu, this incident all happened because of me. Xiaofeng was just impulsive. I am willing to take full responsibility. Please don't follow him. Calculate." Yu Xiaojie looked fierce and said, "Bitch, get out of my way. It's all your fault. I'll take care of you later." However, Gao Xinghua showed a ferocious smile and said to Ji Wufeng, "It's not impossible for us to let you go, but there are two conditions. Then what are the two conditions? Ji Wufeng said coldly. The first condition is that you destroy your hands. Ji Wufeng broke one of Yu Shaojia's legs, but it would be impossible to eliminate the hatred in Yu Shaojia's heart without using both of his hands. What about the second condition? Gao Xinghua added, the second condition is that if you beat us, you must also spend 20 million for medical expenses. It's really cruel, not only asking for 2 hands, but also asking for 20 million. What if I can't come up with 20 million? Ji Wufeng asked. Can't take it out, Gao Xinghua smiled coldly and said, then let's see if that old bitch Qin Yi can save you. Boom. Ji Wufeng slapped his palm on the table in front of him, causing the table to crack immediately. Yu Shaojie was immediately startled and said, he knows martial arts, hurry up and destroy him first. Click. A big man took out a gun and pointed it at Ji Wufeng's head. Gao Xinghua snorted coldly, what's wrong with knowing martial arts? Can you stop a bullet? Snapped. Ji Wufeng suddenly got angry, stretched out his hand and slapped Gao Xinghua on the face like lightning, boom. Gao Xinghua was immediately kicked out, bumped into Chang and fell down. He couldn't get up for a long time. Ji Wufeng's eyes were full of murderous intent. If he hadn't controlled his murderous thoughts, Gao Xinghua would have turned into a corpse. After Gao Xinghua was helped up, he pointed at Ji Wufeng like a mad dog and shouted, even the King of Heaven can't protect you today. Shoot me, first hit his hands and legs. I want that old bitch Qin Yi to do it myself. Come and beg me, or I'll kill him. The strong man was about to shoot, but Hua Yuzhen immediately rushed over and stood in front of Ji Wufeng, shouting in shock, no. Yu Shaojie immediately said, don't touch her. It's this bitch who made me like this. I want to play with her to death. Gao Xinghua glanced at Hua Yuzhen and said lustfully, she is indeed a beauty. Pull her away. I am also interested in having a taste of her. Someone immediately stepped forward to pull Hua Yuzhen away. At this moment, an angry voice sounded, saying, okay, it seems that some people are paying less and less attention to the Chen family. The family wants to kill the distinguished guest of the Chen family. A young man walked in from outside the door. Gao Xinghua and Yu Shaojie were stunned and said, young Master Chen. Chen Qihang snorted coldly and said, you don't need to call me Mr. Chen. You are all riding on my head. How can I deserve to be called that? The expressions of the two people suddenly changed, and they hurriedly said, young Master Chen, how can we dare? Hey, don't you dare. Chen Qihang sneered and said, you want to kill the distinguished guests of the Chen family in the VIP room of the Chen family. Is there anything else that you don't dare to do? The two were immediately confused. This was indeed the VIP room of the Chen family, and those who could enter here must be VIPs of the Chen family. It's just that they never thought that Ji Wufeng was really qualified to come here, thinking that he was just hiding here. Young Master Chen, is this boy your distinguished guest? Yu Shaojie asked. Gao Xinghua immediately thought that today Ji Wufeng cut out a valuable dragon blood stone from a stone bet and auctioned it at the Chen family. The Chen family would most likely give him VIP status for this reason. I'm sorry, Mr. Chen, we were reckless this time. Let's leave immediately. Gao Xinghua said quickly. Yu Shaojie was unwilling to give up, stared at Ji Wufeng fiercely and said, wait, you waste, we are not done with this. In their eyes, Ji Wufeng was nothing. Crushing him would be as simple as crushing an ant. But in the eyes of Chen Qihang, how could they not be just ants? Just when the two were about to take the people away, Chen Qihang frowned and said, wait a minute. The two people's hearts sank, and they smiled and said, young Master Chen, do you know if you have any other instructions? Chen Qihang sneered, you two led people into the Chen family's VIP room and scared my VIPs. Do you just want to leave like this? If this is the case, how will the Chen family have the face to gain a foothold in Yulio in the future? The expressions of the two people suddenly changed. It seemed that Chen Qihang was not going to let them go easily. However, they did not dare to explode and said respectfully, young Master Chen, it is our fault this time. As long as young Master Chen is satisfied, we will definitely do it. Do it. Qin Shi Huang snorted coldly and said, I just heard that you want someone else's 2 hands and 20 million. To give you a face, I don't want my hands anymore, just come up with 20 million. Suddenly, both of them looked as if they were about to cry. Unexpectedly, they failed to blackmail Ji Wufeng and instead offered him 20 million. Gao Xingguo was a little better, but Yi Shaojie broke one of his legs forcefully, but no matter how unwilling they were, once Qin Shi Huang opened his mouth, they didn't dare not give it. That's not all, Qin Shi Huang said to Gao Xin state again, I still remember that there is a bet between you. Since the bet was made here, we must abide by the rules of the Qin family. After the dragon blood stone is sold, if the money is even less, you know the consequences. Gao Xingguo's face suddenly turned green. Damn it, dragon blood stone can be sold for tens of millions at least. If he could exchange it, he would rather have his leg broken. Yes, I promise you will get a lot of it when the time comes. Gao Xingguo said bravely. At this time, Gao Xingguo and Yi Shaojie both wanted to die. This time, they really lost a lot of money in return. After the two left in embarrassment, Hua Yuzhen breathed a sigh of relief. Just when she was about to say thank you to Qin Shi Huang, she saw Qin Shi Huang nodding and bowing to Ji Wufeng. Young Master Feng, I didn't do a good job in this matter, right? You know what's going on, otherwise I'm going to have to tear down your bullshit jade shop. Ji Wufeng nodded with satisfaction. Hua Yuzhen was shocked. Ji Wufeng dared to talk to the eldest son of the Qin family like this, and threatened to demolish the place. Are you crazy? Chapter 59 Auction of Dragon Blood Stone. You are listening at novelfull.audio. But the next scene was shocking. Qin Shi Huang said cheerfully, you can demolish it if you want. If it's not enough, I will build another 10 or 8-seater building. I guarantee you will take care of it, as long as you are satisfied. Hua Yuzhen felt dizzy. She could see that Qin Shi Huang was extremely respectful to Ji Wufeng, but he was just a bankrupt prodigal. Why? Seeing Sister Hua standing there stupidly, Ji Wufeng said, Sister Hua, please sit down, this kid doesn't dare to bite anyone as long as I'm here. Qin Shi Huang said quickly, Mr. Hua, since we are our own people, there is no need to be so formal. Sit down. Hua Yuzhen sat down dumbly, and Ji Wufeng said to Qin Shi Huang, Sister Hua was bullied at your place. You have to give me an explanation for this matter. Seeing that Ji Wufeng actually wanted to accuse Qin Shi Huang of raising an army, Hua Yuzhen was immediately frightened and waved her hands. It's okay, Xiaofeng, don't talk nonsense. Qin Shi Huang nodded and said, yes, President Hua has been wronged by the Qin family. The Qin family has an unshirkable responsibility. From now on, President Hua will be the honored guest of the Qin family. Hua Yuzhen looked shocked. The VIPs of the Qin family are not that simple. It means that as long as they are on the Qin family's territory, the Qin family will receive them as distinguished guests. And anyone who dares to offend will be treated as the same as the Qin family. Get it right, she is now a distinguished guest of the Qin family, which means that the Qin family will be her protective umbrella from now on. Hua Yuzhen was shocked in her heart. If this was Qin Shi Huang's compensation, then this compensation was too heavy. However, Ji Wufeng was still dissatisfied and asked, is that all? Qin Shi Huang thought for a moment and said, the Qin family will vigorously cooperate with the Hua family in the future. Hua Yuzhen was stunned again. The Hua family's main business was jade crafts, and the most important thing was jade. The reason why the Hua family declined was because after her father died, the jade merchants broke off cooperation. Without jade, there would be no business. It's hard not to think about it, she had already entered a desperate situation, otherwise she would not have sold the dragon chi stone inherited from her family. If she reached a cooperation with the Qin family and had a large amount of jade, the Hua family would not only be able to turn around, but it would also improve the overall strength of the Hua family. It will go up a level directly. Ji Wufeng was very satisfied. He patted Qin Shi Huang on the shoulder and said, you know how to handle things and have a good eye for things. Come to me when you have time and I'll teach you how to do it. Qin Shi Huang was immediately overjoyed. He was astonished by Ji Wufeng's method of gambling on stones. If Ji Wufeng was willing to teach him, it would definitely be of great significance to the Chen family who was engaged in the jade business. At the same time, Gao Xinghua and Yu Xiaojie left the auction house, but they couldn't swallow it. They had never suffered such a big loss in their lives, and the other party was still a good-for-nothing loser. Damn it, I have to find someone to kill him, that Yu Xiaojie said with a look of hatred on his face. Gao Xinghua frowned and said, wouldn't this cause trouble? After all, that bastard is Mr. Qin's cousin. Mr. Chen is helping him today probably because of his face. You don't have to worry about this. Mr. Qin wants to kill that kid more than us, but others don't know. Yu Xiaojie said in a deep voice. Real? Gao Xinghua's eyes lit up, but he quickly added, but that kid seems to know Kung Fu, so it won't be easy to deal with him. So what if you know Kung Fu? As long as we are willing to spend money, are we afraid that we will not find someone with stronger Kung Fu? Besides, no matter how powerful your Kung Fu is, can it still be more powerful than bullets? The auction finally started, and many guests were already there. Ji Wufeng was originally arranged to sit in the VIP seat at the front, but seeing that Hua Yuzhen didn't have a VIP seat, he simply got up and accompanied her to sit in the ordinary seat. Why are you here, you loser? As soon as Ji Wufeng stood up from the VIP table, he looked up and saw Zhou Zixin standing in front of him holding Qin Hongming's arm. With shock on his face, it was obvious that she was as surprised as Yu Xiaojie just now. She had offended Zhang Jiao at the Royal Club before, but now he was not beaten to death or maimed, and was still safe and sound. I can come whenever I want, does it have to do with you? Ji Wufeng curled his lips and said. Zhou Zixin looked at the VIP seats in front of her and sneered, come here if you want. Then why don't you dare to sit in the VIP seats? Are you afraid that the security will throw you out like a dead dog later? Zhou Zixin, I advise you not to mess with me again in the end. Ji Wufeng said coldly. Qin Hongming frowned and said, Xiao Feng, why did you say that? I am your cousin, and she is now my girlfriend, your sister-in-law, so be polite. Looking at Qin Hongming, Ji Wufeng felt murderous intent in his heart, but he controlled it and turned towards Hua Yuzhen's seat at the back. He was avoiding contact with Qin Hongming because he was afraid that he would lose control and kill him. Seeing Ji Wufeng and Hua Yuzhen sitting together, Qin Hongming's eyes immediately revealed a lustful light and said, it turns out to be Mr. Hua Yuzhen. I didn't expect to meet my cousin. Are you here to introduce him to the world? Zhou Zixin also knew about Hua Yuzhen, and his face was suddenly filled with contempt, and he said, you are really promising. Don't you have the money to play with those cheap guys? Now you find a rich woman to support you. What did you say? Ji Wufeng's eyes showed a cold light. Did I said wrong thing? As you are not qualified to come here, why don't you rely on her? Zhou Zixin looked at Hua Yuzhen and said angrily, but since she loves you so much, you must have worked hard in bed, right? Ji Wufeng's eyes showed murderous intent, but at this moment, the auctioneer stepped onto the stage and the auction officially began. Everyone must sit in their seats and not disturb the auction. After Qin Hongming and Zhou Zixin left, Ji Wufeng was still angry. At this moment, a warm and soft palm grabbed his hand. It was Hua Yuzhen, looking at him with comfort in her eyes. Ji Wufeng calmed down and said, don't worry, I'm fine. The auction has begun, and the jade that can be put up for auction is indeed of the highest quality. The lowest starting price is more than hundreds of thousands, and the final transaction price can easily reach millions or tens of millions. Halfway through the process, the auctioneer said excitedly, the next auction item is incredible. It is from our stone betting workshop. It is definitely worth owning. Please give me the dragon blood stone. The auctioneer lifted up the white cloth on the auction item, and a red light suddenly flashed. It was the dragon's blood stone that Ji Wufeng had cut out at the gambling stone workshop. Sure enough, when they saw the dragon blood stone, everyone present immediately felt as if they were drunk. This dragon blood stone is not just a simple jade stone, it also has the effect of strengthening the body and preventing various diseases. The starting price was 30 million, and immediately someone held a sign and shouted, 31 million. 35 million. 40 million. At this moment, Qin Hongming stood up and said, everyone, it will be my grandpa's 80th birthday in a while. This dragon's blood stone is a birthday gift that I like. Please give me a favor. After hearing this, those people immediately put down the signs in their hands. They wanted the dragon blood stone very much, but they did not dare to compete with Qin Hongming. Everyone said it was a birthday gift for Mr. Qin, and if they continue to argue, isn't that a slap in the Qin family's face? He is one of the 4 major families. If he takes revenge, there will be no consequences. 40 million for the first time, 40 million for the second time, 40 million for the third time, done. That just when the auctioneer was about to strike the hammer, suddenly someone shouted, 50 million. Chapter 60 Humiliation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Everyone was stunned. Who is this? The eldest young master of the Qin family has already let the word out. If someone doesn't give him face, there are still people who dare to bid. Aren't they afraid of offending the Qin family? Everyone turned to look, and it turned out to be an unfamiliar face, but the young boy who stole the show just now was none other than Ji Wufeng. Zhou Zixin was immediately furious and said, Ji Wufeng, what do you mean? Ji Wufeng shrugged his shoulders and said, what? Did the Chen family change their rules and not allow others to bid? This dragon's blood stone belongs to him. Of course, the more bidders, the more valuable it is. Qin Hongming scared everyone away. What's the difference between this and robbing him of his money? Qin Hongming looked gloomy and said, Xiao Feng, what do you want to do? Ji Wufeng sneered and said, Grandpa is celebrating his birthday, so I have to prepare a birthday gift. I have taken a fancy to this dragon blood stone. If you find it expensive and can't afford it, just give it to me. Qin Hongming looked fiercely and said, 60 million. Ji Wufeng's words of I can't afford it because it's too expensive put him in a difficult position. If he just gave up, it would be a shame for Dafa. 70 million, Ji Wufeng said. 80 million, Qin Hongming gritted his teeth and said, just when everyone thought he was going to continue to increase the price, Ji Wufeng suddenly grinned and said, you win, I give up. That everyone was stunned. Why did they give up so easily? Ji Wufeng smiled and said, actually, I'm not going to fight with you for any money, cousin. I just want you to spend more money, so that you can be more filial to my grandpa. You. Qin Hongming was so angry that he almost vomited blood. Damn it, this bastard never thought about buying dragon blood stone, he just wanted to raise the price. 80 million is a huge amount, and Qin Hongming can't afford it by himself. He has to get money from home. The auction continued. Although there were many good jade stones, with the dragon chi stone, Ji Wufeng no longer looked down upon it. He was waiting for the dragon chi stone. The auction item below is the heirloom of President Hua Yuzhenhua, the dragon chi stone. The starting price is 20 million. Seeing the appearance of the dragon chi stone, everyone suddenly lost interest. Everyone knew that the Hua family had such a stone, but it was a useless thing and had no special value at all. But just when Ji Wufeng was about to bid, someone suddenly said, 21 million. Ji Wufeng frowned slightly. Didn't he say that no one would want this dragon chi stone? The bidder was a young man wearing a grey robe. Hua Yuzhen recognized him and whispered, Xiao Feng, he is Sun Sisizhu, the little miracle doctor of the Sun family of Fuanhao. Since someone buys my dragon chi stone, forget it. Bar. Fuan Tang is the largest traditional Chinese medicine clinic in Hunan and Lulu, as well as the largest traditional Chinese medicine shop. The owner, Sun Bai, comes from a family of traditional Chinese medicine. His ancestors were imperial doctors in the palace. Before his retirement, Sun Bai was also a member of the big leaders within the Red Wall of Huajing. A full-time doctor, to put it bluntly, is also a royal doctor and an authority in the medical field. Most of Sun Bai's disciples are well-known masters of traditional Chinese medicine. Even the nominal disciples are very impressive. For example, the president and vice president of Yulio Central Hospital and a large number of leaders are all his nominal disciples. Although the Sun family is not as powerful as the 4 big families, it has such high prestige that even a figure of Mei Alfeng's level has to give it some face. The name of the little miracle doctor is Sun Sisi, who is the grandson of Sun Bai. He has studied medicine with his grandfather since he was a child. Although he is not very young, his medical skills have been passed down and he has cured many difficult and complicated diseases. He is very famous in Yulio and is known as the Little Miracle Doctor. The Dragon Chi Stone is very important. Even if the King of Heaven comes, I can't let it go. Ji Wufeng directly bids the price, 25 million. Xiao Feng, you. Huayuan was puzzled. Ji Wufeng couldn't explain it, so he just smiled and said, I said I would buy it for you, so I can't break my promise, right? Seeing someone bidding, Sun Sisawai was obviously a little surprised. He stood up, clasped his fists and said, Brother, my grandfather ordered me to buy this Dragon Chi Stone. Please show me some respect. Ji Wufeng shook his head and said, Sorry, I'm also interested in the Dragon Chi Stone. Everyone was speechless for a while. This kid offended Qin Hongming just now, and now he is so unwilling to give Sun Sisiukshu face. Does he want to offend the Sun family as well? Sun Sisi's face looked a little ugly, and his words were somewhat sarcastic. Even if you get the Dragon Chi Stone, do you understand its value? Does it matter to you whether I understand or not? Ji Wufeng squinted his eyes and said. You. Sun Sisi was furious for a moment, and then sat down with an angry look and stopped bidding. He had just seen Qin Hongming suffer a loss with his own eyes, and was afraid that Ji Wufeng would do the same thing again. Anyway, this Dragon Chi Stone is of no use. Although it was given by Sun Baibai, it is not worth spending too much money. 25 million for the first time, 25 million for the second time, 25 million for the third time, deal done. Huayuan was a little moved and said, Xiao Feng, thank you very much, but you are too self-motivated and should not offend Sun Sisai. She thought that Ji Wufeng spent 5 million more and would rather offend Sun Sisai to buy the Dragon Chi Stone in order to fulfill his promise to her. Ji Wufeng smiled and said, Don't worry, I won't lose anything. No loss. This Dragon Chi Stone has not been found to be of any use in the Hua family for so many years. It is not worth 25 million at all. How can we not lose money? Could it be? Huayuan glanced at Ji Wufeng secretly and saw a smile on his face, thinking that he might like her, right? Usually, some teenagers who are just starting to fall in love are most obsessed with mature women. A mature woman with the best appearance and figure like him must have a strong temptation for him. If he thought that what he bought was not only the Dragon Chi Stone, but also his own heart, then he would indeed be at a loss. At this moment, Zhou Zixin suddenly stood up and shouted, I object. The auctioneer asked, Miss, what do you want to say? Zhou Zixin snorted and asked, I want to know what would happen if someone couldn't get the money out after bidding. The auctioneer suddenly became solemn and said, If this is the case, then you are flouting the rules of the auction and will be severely punished. Any auction house will never allow such malicious bidding to happen. Some people have done this before, but they were all lying on the street with missing arms and legs the next day. Zhou Zixin glanced at Ji Wufeng and sneered, I now suspect that he can't come up with 25 million at all. If this is the case, should the Chen family punish him and give an explanation to the other guests? She knew that Tianxiang Group was about to go bankrupt. How could Ji Wufeng spend so much money? At the same time, everyone else looked at Ji Wufeng with disdain. It was obvious that they all agreed that he couldn't come up with the money at all. His only fate next is to face punishment from the Chen family. At least one of his limbs will be broken off. The auctioneer let out a sigh of relief and said, Don't worry, the rules of the auction house cannot be violated. If the situation is really as you said, no matter who he is, he will never tolerate it. In that case, what are you waiting for? Check his bank account immediately. Zhou Zixin couldn't wait to say. Her eyes were full of excitement, as if she had already seen Ji Wufeng's extremely miserable end, but Ji Wufeng said calmly to the auctioneer, I also want to ask, if I am sure that I can come up with so much money in the end, is it an act of humiliation for you to check my account? Chapter 61 Net worth hundreds of millions. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Checking someone's account is no different from searching someone's body. This behavior is extremely humiliating. Bah, you don't even know what kind of character you have now. You will be sleeping on the street and eating garbage soon. Are you still pretending here? Zhou Zixin took a breath and said. Don't worry, everyone who can come in here is the distinguished guest of the Chen family tonight. If the distinguished guest of the Chen family is humiliated, the Chen family will naturally give him an absolutely satisfactory explanation. Someone stood up. It was Chen Qihang, the eldest young master of the Chen family. In that case, let's check his account quickly. Zhou Zixin's expression changed, but she was convinced that Ji Wufeng was 100% broke and said viciously, wait and see how you die. However, the auctioneer said, no need to check, I can guarantee that Mr. Ji Wufeng is fully capable of coming up with 25 million. Impossible, how would you know without checking? Zhou Zixin looked unbelieving, not only him, but most of the people present didn't believe it. The auctioneer pointed at the dragon blood stone that had ended in bidding and said displeasedly, this dragon blood stone belongs to Mr. Ji Wufeng. The final transaction price was 80 million. Do you think there is any need to check? What? That everyone was stunned. Was it him who had the dragon blood stone? Then he has 80 million, what the heck is he checking? Impossible, this is absolutely impossible. Zhou Zixin jumped and screamed as if he had stepped on his tail. Qin Hongming's eyes darkened and he almost fainted from anger. Originally, Ji Wufeng made him spend tens of millions more to buy the dragon blood stone, which was enough to make him angry. What's more, he didn't expect that the dragon blood stone actually belonged to someone else. A trap, this is clearly a trap. He looked at Ji Wufeng with a fierce look, as if he wanted to eat someone. Chen Qihang looked at Qin Hongming coldly, pointed at Zhou Zixin and said solemnly, young Master Qin, you brought this person here. I will give you a face today. You can handle it yourself. Don't let me do it. Snapped. Qin Hongming slapped Zhou Zixin to the ground and said sternly, bitch, get out of here. Zhou Zixin lay on the ground and covered her face, saying, Hongming, I. Get out. Qin Hongming's eyes were full of murderous coldness. Zhou Zixin immediately got up from the ground in fright. Before leaving, he glanced at Ji Wufeng, his eyes full of resentment. The auction continued, but there was nothing good enough for Ji Wufeng to take action. At the end, Qin Hongming walked up to him, showed a gloomy smile and said, cousin, you are really promising, even me. My cousin has made a mistake. Who made you blind? Ji Wufeng said expressionlessly. Very good, I hope you can always be so successful. The smile on Qin Hongming's face became thicker, but there was a ferocious expression on his face. After Qin Hongming left, Sun Sisiu followed suit and glanced at Ji Wufeng coldly, obviously holding back his anger. Hua Yuzhen said with remorse on her face, Xiao Feng, I. Needless to say, it has nothing to do with you. Ji Wufeng said. Everyone looked at this scene and couldn't help but shake their heads. The family was about to go bankrupt. This guy actually used money to squander money to please women and made enemies everywhere. It seemed that the rumors were true. This guy was simply a loser who is uneducated and good for nothing. Ji Wufeng got the dragon chi stone and input a burst of true energy. The dragon chi stone immediately started up like a well-oiled machine and began to gather the spiritual energy between heaven and earth. With the dragon chi stone, at least he no longer has to worry until he reaches the next level of cultivation. The auction was over, and 55 million was transferred to his account. It was the money from the dragon chi stone that was deducted after he sold the dragon blood stone. Before leaving, Chen Qihang came over and said with a smile, Brother Feng, plus the 80 million from Gaoxingguo, you made nearly 200 million today. The dragon's blood stone was sold for 80 million, and Gaoxingguo had to compensate according to the price. Plus the 20 million that he and Yu Shaojie had paid for it, wasn't it almost 200 million? Ji Wufeng grinned from ear to ear, patted Chen Qihang on the shoulder and said, young man, you did a good job, and you deserve a share of the credit. Chen Qihang said with a smile, Brother Feng, this is all your fault. I don't dare to be greedy for credit, but now my grandfather wants to ask Brother Feng for a favor. Say it, as long as I can do it. Ji Wufeng said. An old friend of my grandfather's has been in poor health recently. No major hospital can find out the cause. I want you to go and have a look. Chen Qihang said. Okay, tell me a time. Ji Wufeng readily agreed. What do you think tomorrow afternoon? Okay, let's go down tomorrow. Ji Wufeng and Hua Yuzhen left the auction house at the agreed time, but before they had gone far, they were stopped by a young man and several big men. What's up? Ji Wufeng asked. It's me, Sun Hui from Fuan Hall. The young man said coldly. Ji Wufeng squinted his eyes and said, I didn't ask who you are, I asked you what do you want from me. There are 25 million here. Leave the dragon chi stone and you can leave. The young man took out a bank card and raised his head. I'm in a good mood now. If you leave right now, I can forget about it. Ji Wufeng narrowed his eyes and said. Sun Hui snorted coldly and said, Humph, who are you? You dare to be so arrogant. Even if your mother Qin Yi came over, you wouldn't dare to talk to the Sun family like this. Bang! Without saying a word, Ji Wufeng slapped her in the face. Sun Hui was furious and said in a ferocious voice, How dare you hit me? I will destroy him. There was a cold light in Ji Wufeng's eyes. He originally had a good impression of the Sun family of Fuan Hall. After all, it was rumored that Sun Baibai was a highly respected doctor with good skills and benevolence. However, he did not expect that Sun Sisai was so hopeless and sent people to take the dragon chi stone by force. Robbery. The group of big men behind Sun Hui immediately swarmed forward, and Ji Wufeng punched them, bang bang bang. Sun Hui didn't even see clearly what was going on. The group of tiger-like men all fell to the ground and howled. Ji Wufeng left in a hurry. He was in a good mood now and was too lazy to care. Otherwise, he would have to let Sun Baibai come over in person to redeem the person. After leaving the auction house, Hua Yuzhen said, Xiao Feng, you have helped me so much today, let me treat you to a drink. I'm in an emergency now, maybe next time. Ji Wufeng got the dragon chi stone and wanted to rush back immediately. Then I'll drive you back. Hua Yuzhen said again. No, I'll go back by myself. Ji Wufeng refused. His speed was faster than riding a car. After saying that, he left in a hurry. Looking at his back, Hua Yuzhen flashed a trace of disappointment in the corners of her eyes, and said with a wry smile, Hua Yuzhen, when did you learn to daydream? In the underground parking lot, Hua Yuzhen was about to drive away when suddenly several fierce and strong men rushed over and surrounded her. Chapter 62. Are you here to die? You are listening at novelfull.audio. What do you want to do? Hua Yuzhen said with panic on her face. Gao Xinghua and Yu Xiaojie walked out. Yu Xiaojie's leg was already in a plaster. He was sitting in a wheelchair and said with a ferocious expression, Bitch, what do you think I want to do? It was you who caused me to be like this, take her away from me. As soon as he returned home, Ji Wufeng immediately took out the dragon chi stone, which continuously absorbed the spiritual energy between heaven and earth. Immersed in cultivation for a long time, it was already late at night after Ji Wufeng finished. Ji Yanran and Shi Qianying had already fallen asleep. At this time, the phone rang. It was a video call. After he answered the call, he saw Gao Xinghua with Yu Xiaojie's ferocious face. Ji Wufeng frowned and said, What are you two mad dogs going to do? Through the video, we could see that behind the two of them was a private room in a club. In the corner, Hua Yuzhen was curled up with a pale face, her body shaking, obviously frightened. Yu Xiaojie's eyes flashed fiercely and he said, Trash, if you want to save your woman, just come here alone. Ji Wufeng immediately understood that these two mad dogs wanted to take revenge on him. They thought Hua Yuzhen was his woman, so they captured her to threaten him. What do you want? Ji Wufeng asked coldly. Although she is not his own woman, she has been implicated by him. Moreover, even with the friendship between the two of them, he cannot ignore her. It's very simple. If you come to nightclub alone, you are not allowed to call the police. Yu Xiaojie chuckled and said, If you don't come, after I play with her, I will let everyone in the room play with her again, and then sell her to a brothel when they are tired of playing with her. After saying that, Yu Xiaojie hung up the phone. Hua Yuzhen said with a sad smile, You don't have to waste your efforts. I really have nothing to do with him. There is no way he would die for me. Gao Xinghua and Yu Xiaojie kidnapped her just to deal with Ji Wufeng, but they just met today and didn't have a deep friendship at all. She didn't believe that Ji Wufeng would put himself in danger for her. Gao Xinghua became angry and said, "You'd better pray that he will come, otherwise your end will be worse than death." At this time, a middle-aged man with a thin body but a cold light in his eyes stared at Hua Yuzhen and said, "This woman is really the best." Hua Yuzhen is not only beautiful, but also has an extremely hot figure. Her whole body exudes a kind of soul-sucking charm that can kill people. Yu Xiaojie immediately said, "Brother Snake, this Hua Yuzhen used to be famous as a beautiful woman, but she was blind and fell in love with that useless male dog Ma Changlin, and she was ruined. It doesn't matter, I prefer women with such charm." Brother Snake's eyes showed sharpness and said, "Wait a minute and I'll play first. Do you have any objections?" Gao Xinghua and Yu Xiaojie were a little unhappy, but they both smiled and said, "Of course I have no objection. Brother Snake, since you can like this bitch, treat it as our filial piety to you. This snake brother is called Viper, a master of martial arts. He became the leader of the world with his fists a few years ago. However, this guy was so vicious and cruel that even his subordinates refused to obey him. In the end, because he acted too ostentatiously, he became the leader of the world. His refusal angered the 4 major families, who joined forces to defeat him, turning him into a wanted criminal wanted by the police. In desperation, Viper became a killer and was hired by Gao Xinghua and Yu Xiaojie to deal with Ji Wufeng. Since you guys are on the road like this, we can play with this kid and girl as we want. Then we will all go together, ha ha ha." Viper laughed ferociously. His words immediately caused everyone to laugh evilly, making Hua Yuzhen tremble all over. She also knew that with her beauty, she would one day become the plaything of rich young masters or big shots, and she was mentally prepared for it. However, she did not expect that the result would be so miserable, that she would be raped by several men at the same time. However, will Ji Wufeng come? Hua Yuzhen didn't offer any hope. The two of them had only met once. Even if they wanted to help him, he would never take such a big risk for her. This was clearly a situation where he would die. Ji Wufeng didn't appear for a long time, and Viper was impatient. He stared at Hua Yuzhen and said, "It seems that boy won't come, so let me have a good time first." Hua Yuzhen closed her eyes. Although she was mentally prepared, she was still extremely desperate. Boom. The door of the private room was suddenly kicked open, and Ji Wufeng walked in swaggeringly. A trace of fear flashed across Gao Xinghua's face first, and then he said bitterly, "You are really brave enough to actually come." Ji Wufeng didn't even look at him. This kind of garbage could only be cleaned up. Looking at Hua Yuzhen, who was so frightened that she almost lost her soul, Ji Wufeng couldn't bear to say, "I'm really sorry. I didn't expect that you would be involved." Seeing Ji Wufeng, Hua Yuzhen was stunned. She didn't expect that he would actually come for her. Doesn't he want to live anymore? Hua Yuzhen, who was originally scared to death, suddenly became calm after seeing Ji Wufeng. She felt it was worth it to have a man take risks alone for her, even if she died with this man. "Hey, we meet again." Yu Xiaojie, who was sitting in a wheelchair beside him, said in a conspiratorial tone. Ji Wufeng glanced at him disdainfully and said, "A mad dog like you should be beaten to death with a stick, and you shouldn't be allowed to breathe." Yu Xiaojie suddenly flushed with anger and grabbed Hua Yuzhen's hair. Hua Yuzhen was so painful that she shed tears. He touched Hua Yuzhen's face with his hand and said with a mean smile, "It's really the best. I didn't even know it was there. It's been a long time since I played with such a beautiful woman, I can't wait to play with her." Turning his head, he said bitterly to Ji Wufeng, "I just don't know if you have slept with her, but it doesn't matter even if you haven't slept with her. We plan to get together later. You can watch the live broadcast here. It doesn't matter if you are addicted to it. Loss." As soon as these words came out, the people in the box burst into laughter. Hua Yuzhen's already pale face turned even pale. Tears fell down drop by drop, but she just bit her lips and didn't cry. There was a look in her eyes. There is fear, but more of stubbornness. If you kneel down now, maybe I will spare your life. Yu Xiaojie no longer planned to let Ji Wufeng go, but he felt that killing him like this would be too easy for him, so he had to humiliate him no matter what he said before. At this time, Huayuzhen suddenly shouted, "Xiao Feng, leave quickly. Even if you kneel down, they will not let us go. We will only die together. I am very satisfied that you can come." Huayuzhen knew that it was impossible for these people to let them go. Rather than die together, it would be better for one of them to run away. "Bitch, shut up!" Yu Xiaojie slapped him in the face, and a blood-red palm print suddenly appeared on his snow-white face. His cheeks were swollen, and a wisp of blood trailed down the corner of his mouth. Chapter 63 You Never Threatened Me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ji Wufeng said with a gloomy face, "No matter what he did to you before, I promise to help you get it back tenfold later." As soon as he finished speaking, sharp gleams flashed in his eyes, and a violent breath burst out from his body, instantly spreading throughout the space, and everyone shuddered suddenly. Yu Xiaojie's eyes flashed. His neck was pinched by a big hand like an iron pincer. He was raised high with his feet off the ground. He was breathing hard and his face was red from holding back, as if he was being caught and killed. The little chicken, when he came into contact with Ji Wufeng's terrifying eyes, Yu Xiaojie felt trembling in his heart for no reason, and said, "What do you want to do? If you dare to touch me." Click. Ji Wufeng didn't bother to listen to his threatening words. He didn't have any new ideas at all, and directly put his foot on Yu Xiaojie's other intact leg. "Ah!" Yu Xiaojie howled like a stupid pig. His leg had just been put in a plaster, and this leg was kicked off by Ji Wufeng. He threw Yu Xiaojie to the ground like a dead dog, smiled at Huayuzhen and said, "Do you want to relieve your anger? If he doesn't get angry, I'll break both of his hands too." Huayuzhen was stunned, and everyone present was stunned. Everyone thought that Ji Wufeng was destined to die this time, so he should kneel down and kowtow to apologize, but as soon as he entered the door, he broke Yu Xiaojie's leg. Damn, totally out of line with common sense. Yu Xiaojie fell to the ground and almost fainted from the pain. Gao Xingguo's expression changed drastically and he shouted sternly, "Go ahead, kill him. You little bastard, you have a few tricks up your sleeve, but if you meet me, you will have no choice but to die." Viper's eyes showed a fierce light, his body suddenly rose up, and he punched Ji Wufeng. The powerful punch brought out the sound of breaking wind. The other dozen strong men in the box also rushed towards Ji Wufeng. They were not ordinary thugs, they were all well-trained elites. Viper's attack was quick and he punched Ji Wufeng's head. With his strength, this punch was enough to blow a person's head open. Ji Wufeng didn't even bother to look at him and punched out with his backhand, hitting Viper's fist. The punch was so fast that Viper's expression was startled. "You little bastard, you're looking for death." There was a hint of malice in Viper's eyes, and his fist suddenly opened, revealing a short dagger. This was an underhanded move, sonorous. Click. Ji Wufeng's fist hit the dagger, breaking it directly, and his fist struck Viper's fist. Viper suddenly screamed, and his body flew backwards, spitting blood. After landing, he found that the bones of his arm were directly punched by Yan Feng and were punched out of the flesh, exposed to the air, and even the blood didn't have time to flow out, it was so terrifying. Viper was furious in his heart. He knew his own strength very well. Being able to beat him like this with one punch meant that his strength was much higher than his, and there was no comparison. The first thing he thought of was to escape, otherwise he would die, but he couldn't, so he could only shout loudly, "Come together and kill him." Those dozen well-trained strong men had already surrounded Ji Wufeng. When they heard Viper's order, they immediately pounced on him like wolves and tigers. Ji Wufeng puffed up his chest, raised his arms, and a violent force came out of his body. The strong man in black who surrounded him immediately flew backwards as if he had been hit by high-voltage electricity, and fell to the ground like a kite with its string broken. After landing on the ground, blood spurted out from his mouth and he became silent. So possible, seeing the scene in front of him, Gao Xingguo was dumbfounded. He knew that Ji Wufeng knew martial arts, but how strong could he be at such a young age? Could it still be better than Viper, who has practiced martial arts all his life? But who would have thought that Viper didn't even catch his punch? Those dozen men were all elites, and they all lay down before they even touched them. Finally, Gao Xinghua became afraid and felt the threat of death. Suddenly, Viper quickly rushed to Hua Yuzhen, strangled her neck with one hand, and said sternly, "You little bastard, stop, or I will kill her." He finally realized that he could not be this young man's opponent. Like Gao Xinghua, he was frightened and wanted to survive. This woman was his talisman. "Do you think you can threaten me like this?" Ji Wufeng's face turned gloomy. Seeing Ji Wufeng's expression change, Viper's heart skipped a beat and said, "I'm not threatening you. As long as you are willing to let me go, what happened today will be treated as if it never happened." "How about that?" Ji Wufeng sneered. "Do you think I can believe what you say? After letting you go, I guess you didn't pretend it never happened, but tried every possible means to kill me, right?" Viper's expression froze. He had indeed made this idea. This boy was too terrifying. Since he had offended him, he would not be able to sleep and eat well if he did not get rid of him. "You have to believe it even if you don't believe it, otherwise she will die." The strength in Viper's hand increased, and his face became ferocious. Hua Yuzhen's face was immediately filled with pain. "I don't think I need to trust you at all, because you have never threatened me." Ji Wufeng's tone was full of disdain, and his body suddenly rushed to the Viper like lightning, and said with a smile, "Sister Hua, since he strangled your neck with his hand, I will give you a hand back." Viper felt his eyes flicker and felt a sudden cold on his shoulders. When he turned around, he found that his arm was broken directly from the shoulder and fell to the ground, blood spurting out. "Ah!" The Viper screamed repeatedly and fell to the ground. Since he had no hands, he couldn't get up for a long time, and finally passed out. Hua Yuzhen covered her neck and looked at everything in front of her blankly. Most of the group of people who were so fierce just now died in the blink of an eye, and the person who fell on the ground had his arms disabled. She had never seen such a scene before, and she fainted on the spot. "No way, no way," Gao Xinghua was a little confused. Didn't he say that Ji Wufeng was basically a worthless waste? But how could it be so terrible? How could such a terrible person be a waste? Ji Wufeng walked up to Gao Xinghua and asked with a smile, "Young Master Gao, did you just say you wanted me to kneel down?" "Humph. Don't think that having some skills is a big deal, otherwise you will die sooner." Gao Xinghua's expression suddenly changed. He took out a gun from his body, pointed it at Ji Wufeng's head, and said with a smile, "So what if you know martial arts? I don't believe you are invulnerable. No matter how high your martial arts skills are, you are still afraid of kitchen knives, let alone bullets." Yu Shaojie, who was paralyzed on the ground, roared like crazy, "Shoot, shoot me, kill this damn bastard." Chapter 64 Raising Troops to Investigate Crimes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ji Wufeng stared at the muzzle of the gun and said calmly, "Are you sure your gun can kill me? Then go die." Gao Xinghua looked fiercely and pulled the trigger. Boom. The gunshot rang out, but there was no scene of blood splattering on Ji Wufeng's body. He was standing there perfectly fine, without a single hair being injured. Did it miss the mark? Before Gao Xinghua could figure out the situation, Ji Wufeng had already slapped him with a big mouth, snapped. Gao Xinghua fell to the ground and spat out a mouthful of blood, which contained 2 teeth. "Trash, you, ah." Gao Xinghua wanted to get up, but Ji Wufeng raised his foot and stepped down. There was a crisp click, and Gao Xinghua's arm was crushed. He howled miserably and shouted, "Little bastard, I dare say you are dead. Not only you, but your family and friends, I will let them live. Worse than a dog." Ji Wufeng shook his head. He was helpless. Are all wealthy young men idiots? He still dares to threaten himself. Is it because he is stubborn or because of his family background that he thinks no one dares to really touch him? No matter what the reason is, it will not have any effect on Ji Wufeng. He raised his foot again and stepped on it. Gao Xinggua's other arm was also broken by the foot. This time he fainted without saying a word. Yu Xiaojie did not expect such a situation, and was so frightened that he was shaking all over. Ji Wufeng was too lazy to pay attention to him. It was too easy to kill a person like this. If there was another time, Ji Wufeng would not control himself anymore. After checking, Hua Yuzhen was not injured except for a few slaps. Now she was mainly frightened. She just needed to rest for a while and left the bar with her on her back. In the taxi, Hua Yuzhen finally woke up and found herself lying in Ji Wufeng's arms. Suddenly she screamed and jumped up, her body shrank back, her face was full of panic. Obviously, the scene where Ji Wufeng broke Viper's arms was a bit bloody and cruel, which scared her, so she is now very afraid of Ji Wufeng. Seeing that Hua Yuzhen woke up, Ji Wufeng nodded and said, "Since you're awake, you can go home by yourself." "Master, stop the car." That he got out of the taxi and walked away. Hua Yuzhen's reaction made him somewhat uncomfortable, but if he thought about it carefully, the two of them had no friendship at all, so why should he care? Looking at Ji Wufeng's back through the car window, Hua Yuzhen's nose suddenly sore. She was indeed frightened, but Ji Wufeng was trying to save her, but she made such a sad move. She wanted to get out of the car and chase him, but Ji Wufeng's figure had disappeared. It was already late at night when they returned home. Shi Qianying and Ji Yanran had gone to bed long ago. Ji Wufeng took out the dragon chi stone and entered into practice again. Such a big thing happened in the bar. Yu Xiaojie's father, Yu Haiqing, quickly got the news. He rushed to the bar with his father, Gao Mingxin, from Gao Xinggua. When he saw that his son had either his legs or hands broken, he almost fainted from anger on the spot. Who did it?" Gao Mingxin hugged the unconscious Gao Xinggua and roared. "It was that good-for-nothing Ji Wufeng who did it." Seeing his father coming, Yu Xiaojie howled, "Dad, you must avenge me." Yu Haiqing was stunned. Is it rumored that Ji Wufeng is an ignorant waste? How could he be so capable? It turned out to be that little bastard who injured Xinggua. I have long said that we must take action as soon as possible, otherwise what happened today would not have happened. Gao Mingxin said sharply. Seeing that his son's legs were broken, Yu Haiqing was heartbroken and said coldly, "In this case, it just gives us a chance, first come first served. Maybe we can take the whole Tianxiang group into our pocket, and we don't need to do it anymore. Share a piece of the Qin family's pie." Gao Mingxin's eyes lit up and he said, "Yes, that old bitch Qin Yi has always refused to take the easy way. This time the manager gave us a chance." Ji Wufeng practiced all night. With the dragon chi stone, his progress was very stable. After waking up, he felt that the true energy in his body had become more powerful. It should be possible to refine some elixirs now. Pills are a very important cultivation resource for cultivators and have powerful auxiliary effects. Some top-level pills can make even a mortal become a master of cultivation instantly after taking them. With Ji Wufeng's current cultivation level and the resources of the earth, it is certainly impossible to refine top-level elixirs, but even some ordinary elixirs can speed up his cultivation progress. After breakfast in the morning, Shi Qianying took Ji Yanran to school. Ji Wufeng was about to leave to collect medicinal materials for refining the elixir, but at this moment the phone rang, and it was Li Mingqi calling. Li Mingqi was specially arranged by the Mei family to deal with the Tianxiang group. Ji Wufeng once asked him to pay attention to some of the Qin family's actions in the Tianxiang group. There must be something going on when he called. After the call was connected, Ji Wufeng asked, "Did the Qin family make any moves?" "Young Master Feng, it's not the Qin family, but Gao Mingxin from the Gao family and Yu Haiqing from the Yu family." Li Mingqi said. Ji Wufeng interrupted the hands and feet of Gao Xinggua and Yu Xiaojie, and had long expected that the two families would not let it go. However, they did not directly seek revenge on Ji Wufeng. Instead, they had a bigger plot to attack the Tianxiang group. At this time, the gate of Tianxiang International Headquarters was very busy. The gate was blocked tightly by a group of people in black. Employees who came to work wanted to enter, but they were shouted back fiercely. What happened? It seems like these people are here to cause trouble. It seems that people from the Gao family and the Yu family came to investigate. but how could the chairman provoke them? It's over. The company has just made some progress, and now it has offended these two giant Buddhas. The chairman is not here, but what should we do? I saw Gao Mingxin and Yu Haiqing guarding the door with gloomy faces, saying coldly, "Call Qin Yi out to see us immediately." Qin Yi's secretary Lu Shuangshuang said tremblingly, "You too, our chairman has gone to the provincial capital Yuzhou for business and is not in the company now." "Humph, if she's not in the company, you can ask her to come back immediately," Gao Mingxin said with a domineering look. "If she can't come back in time, then you don't have to go to work, because I guarantee that Tianxiang Group will go bankrupt soon." Tianxiang Group was already in turmoil before, and most of the employees had left to find other jobs. The reason why these people are still here is either because Qin Yi has shown them kindness or they respect Qin Yi's character. Hearing Gao Mingxin's words, all the employees in the company were angered. Lu Shuangshuang said solemnly, "No matter what, you should not block our company. This is illegal. Please leave immediately, otherwise I will call the police." "Call the police?" Yu Haiqing chuckled and said, "Okay, Qin Yisheng's little bastard broke my son's legs and Mr. Gao's son's hands. When the police come, they can arrest him." Chapter 20 I've got you covered. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Poof. The strong man wanted to get up, but suddenly a large mouthful of blood spurted out. Ji Wufeng's kick just now broke at least several of his ribs. If the kick had been stronger, he would have been killed directly. Ji Wufeng did not stop and walked forward. With every step he took, a strong man flew out. Finally, Ji Wufeng stopped, and all the dozen strong men lay on the ground, and none of them could get up. Fu Qinling had completely stayed there. In the scene in front of her, Ji Wufeng was like a king standing proudly, dominating the sky and the earth. There were ants everywhere he went, and the only thing he could do was crawl. Too strong, too domineering, this is a real man. The light in Fu Qingling's eyes became extremely hot. Ji Wufeng walked towards Qiheng. At this time, Qiheng was also completely confused. He could no longer pretend to be as cold as before, and said with a frightened face, "Are you a warrior? Apart from warriors, how could ordinary people be so strong? You just said you wanted an arm and a leg from me, right?" That with a cold look on his face, Ji Wufeng grabbed Qiheng's arm and twisted it hard. Qiheng suddenly let out a miserable howl and said, "You can't touch me, my uncle is Qiteng." Ji Wufeng frowned. No wonder Qiheng dared to be so arrogant. Even the eldest lady of the Fu family didn't pay attention to him. It turned out that he had an uncle who was the leader of the world. He didn't care what kind of leader he was, but Qiteng was his apprentice now. After all, Qiheng was still his disciple. It seemed a bit too unkind to destroy him. "For Qiteng's sake, I'll spare you this time." Ji Wufeng let go of Qiheng's arm. "Humph, you know what's going on." Qiheng breathed a sigh of relief, got up, snorted coldly, and wanted to walk away. Ji Wufeng was speechless for a while. Qiheng was still so arrogant at this time. It seemed that he thought that the reason for his "Let him go because he is afraid of Qiteng." "Stop!" Ji Wufeng shouted coldly. Qiheng stopped immediately, turned around and glared. "Is there anything else? According to the rules of your world, even if you want to leave, you should leave something behind, right?" Ji Wufeng said. "What do you want?" Qiheng asked. Ji Wufeng looked at Li Hongyu, who was completely confused, and said, "Just now you wanted an arm and a leg from me, now I want an arm and a leg too." Qiheng only used money to do things. The most disgusting thing was Li Hongyu. He had let him go last time, but Ji Wufeng had no intention of letting him go easily this time. Qiheng immediately understood what Li Hongyu meant and immediately picked up a knife and walked towards Li Hongyu. Li Hongyu was immediately frightened and wanted to run away. Qiheng Fei kicked him and turned him into a vicious dog. He said, "Young Master Heng, what do you mean? You accepted my money, you can't broken the rules of the world." "That's right, you have to follow the rules when you are in the world. I can't do what you asked me to do. Therefore, I will pay you double the remuneration you give me. It's settled between us." Qi Heng said with a cold face, but now someone uses your hands and feet to replace mine. I can do this. At this time, Fu Qingling came over, frowned and said, we are all classmates, just give me a face, just break the limbs, there is no need to chop them off. Ji Wufeng snorted coldly and said, he really wanted my hands and feet just now. Fu Qingling said with a smile, you are different from him. You are a little bastard, if you need to be on the same level with him, just take a breath. You are quite loyal. Ji Wufeng rolled his eyes. Ha ha ha, of course. How can you be a big sister if you don't show loyalty when you go out to hang out? Fu Qingling said. Ji Wufeng was speechless for a while and said to Qi Heng, just interrupt it. There is no need to cut it down. Fu Qingling had defended him just now. Now that she had spoken, he would let Li Hongyu go once, just as a favor to her. Without saying a word, Qi Heng grabbed Li Hongyu's arm and twisted it hard. There was a crisp click, and his arm was broken. He knelt on the ground and howled miserably. Qi Heng flew up and kicked Li Hongyu's leg again. There was another sound of bones breaking. Li Hongyu fell to the ground and screamed in pain like a slaughtered pig. Ji Wufeng turned around and left. He was controlling his anger, but he would never be a silent lamb. He had already let Li Hongyu go twice. If he dared to provoke him again, he would definitely die. Hey, don't leave. Fu Qingling caught up with Ji Wufeng. Ji Wufeng was really annoyed and said angrily, are you annoyed? If you follow me again, don't blame me for being rude. Fu Qingling said with a smile, you want to be rude to me? Then I want to see how you want to be rude. Believe it or not, I'll beat you up. Ji Wufeng glared. I helped you just now. If you beat me up, you would be ungrateful. I let Li Hongyu go for your sake. The favor has been repaid and I don't owe you anything. I don't want you to return the favor to me. The worst you can do is go back and chop off Li Hongyu's hands and feet now. That even though he was the Immortal King, Ji Wufeng was so angry that he just wanted to jump around and said, what do you want? Br, I want you to be my boyfriend. Fu Qingling said with her chest raised. Impossible. Then what will happen before you are willing to be my boyfriend? Fu Qingling asked. Okay, as long as you can go to the same university as me, I will agree to be your boyfriend. After Ji Wufeng said that, he turned around and left. Fu Qingling was ranked last in number 1 middle school all year round. The college entrance examination was less than 2 months away. It was extremely difficult to get her grades to be admitted to the same university as Ji Wufeng. In fact, Ji Wufeng made such a request because he believed that she couldn't do it, so that she would give up her intention, but looking at Ji Wufeng's back, Fu Qingling clenched her fists and gritted her teeth. Ji Wufeng, just wait, I've got you. The college entrance examination was coming soon, and just when Ji Wufeng was wondering why Mouse hadn't come to class all day, the phone rang. Ji Wufeng arrived at the place Mouse mentioned and saw him sweating profusely and covered in dust. He asked, what's the matter with you, kid? You're about to take the college entrance examination and you're still absent from class. You can't get into a good university with my grades, and I have very important things to do today. Mouse took out a jewelry box and said, boss, look at this necklace. Xiaojie will definitely like it, right? What are you doing? Mouse smiled and said, today is Xiaojie's birthday, and the college entrance examination is about to take place. I want to express my love to her today. Xiaojie and Mu Zi are neighbors and childhood sweethearts. Mu Zi has always liked her, but he has never confessed to her, but the college entrance examination is about to take place, and they may have to go their separate ways after that. If they don't confess, they may not have the chance. Therefore, Mouse didn't come to class today but worked part-time to deliver food for the day. He bought a necklace and planned to confess his love to Xiaojie. Chapter 65 Raising a Mad Dog. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this time, Yu Xiaojie, who was sitting in a wheelchair, and Gao Xinghua, who was wrapped in bandages, came out. Lu Shuangshuang was stunned immediately. How could this be possible? How could Ji Wufeng beat them both like this? But since Gao Mingxin and Yu Haiqing dared to come to investigate in a big way, there should be no lie in this matter. Suddenly, all the employees present had angry faces. They had long heard that their prince Ji Wufeng was a good-for-nothing playboy who made trouble everywhere, and was rumored to be a loser. I didn't expect him to go so far. The chairman finally managed to get the company through the difficulties, but he was lucky enough to cause such a big disaster again. Others were cheating on their fathers, but this bastard was cheating on their mothers. Humph, whatever Ji Wufeng did is his business and has nothing to do with Tianxiang Group. Please leave immediately. Lu Shuangshuang gritted his teeth and said, at this time, she hated Ji Wufeng very much, and she felt even more sorry for Qin Yi for giving birth to such a promising son. It was best for him to be severely punished by both families so that he could remember it well. At the same time, other employees had the same idea as Lu Shuangshuang, and stood up and said angrily, that is, if anyone cripples your son, you just go to him. What are you doing in our company? Leave now or we'll call the police. Gao Mingxin and Yu Haiqing were both stunned. With their status, these people should be trembling when they see them. Unexpectedly, they are all so tough and loyal to Qin Yi. At this moment, a greasy-faced guy came over with a group of people, and shouted arrogantly from a distance, what are you doing? It is really unreasonable to treat VIPs like this when they are gathered here. Lu Shuangshuang turned around to look, and his face suddenly darkened. Qin Hongyang, Qin Hongming's cousin and Qin Yi's nephew, is the person in charge of the cooperation between the Qin family and Tianxiang Group, and currently holds the position of Deputy General Manager. On weekdays, Qin Hongyang relied on the Qin family behind him, acting as if he were the crown prince. He was domineering in the company, beating and scolding his subordinates at will, and teasing female employees. Even when Tianxiang Group's products had accidents several times, he was the one behind them. Lu Shuangshuang had already guessed that it was him, but there was no evidence. In addition, not only was he Qin Yi's cousin, but he also had the support of the Qin family, so there was nothing they could do against him. After Qin Hongyang scolded him, he immediately nodded to Gao Mingxin and Yu Haiqing and said, Mr. Gao, Mr. Yu, these servants are so rude. Don't take offense. I will definitely teach them a lesson later. Hearing this, everyone was furious. Lu Shuangshuang even glared and said, Qin Hongyang, please pay attention to your wording. We are employees of Tianxiang Group, not your servants. Humph, who do you think you are? If the company hadn't supported you, you would have been sleeping on the street a long time ago. Calling you servants is flattering you. It would be nice if I didn't call you beggars. Qin Hongyang squinted his eyes and said. Qin Hongyang, don't go too far. Lu Shuangshuang was furious. Qin Hongming said with a sneer, what can you do to me if I go too far? How dare you talk to me like this? I declare now that you have been fired. Pack your things and get out of the company immediately. The company belongs to the chairman, and I am her secretary. She decides on my appointment and dismissal. You have no right to fire me, Lu Shuangshuang said. I have no right. Qin Hongming raised his head and said arrogantly, you are wrong. The company is not just for my cousin, but for the entire Qin family. As long as my uncle is willing, even my cousin can be fired, let alone a small assistant like you. As soon as these words came out, the faces of all the employees turned extremely ugly. Ever since the Tianxiang Group developed and expanded, the Qin family has been squeezing the company's interests like a vampire. This is something everyone knows, but Qin Yi thinks that they are always a family, so they just turn a blind eye. I didn't expect the Qin family to look so ugly. From Qin Hongyang's tone, it was clear that he wanted to take over the entire Tianxiang Group. At this moment, a lazy voice broke in and said, really, my mother has such a good temper, how could she raise such a mad dog? Forget about barking, it looks like even the owner wants to bite it. As soon as these words came out, Qin Hongyang's face turned extremely ugly. He turned around and said angrily, who is so brave and dares to scold me like this? Is it you? Seeing the person coming, Gao Xinghua and Yu Shaojie immediately screamed, Dad, it's him. It's this little bastard who hurt us. Lu Shuangshuang and other employees had dissatisfied expressions on their faces, as if they hated iron. That's right, it's none other than the authentic prince of the Tianxiang Group. the eldest son of the Ji family, Ji Wufeng. Ji Wufeng, what do you mean? I am your cousin and you are talking to me like this. Qin Hongyang said angrily. Ji Wufeng rolled his eyes and said, I don't have a cousin like you who only knows how to bark. When he was a child, Ji Wufeng was often bullied by Qin Hongyang when he went to Qin's house. Once he cried, cousin, don't hit me, woo-woo. Although Ji Wufeng was only 5 or 6 years old at the time, he would never forget the scene at that time. Qin Hongyang was riding on him, punching and kicking him, and said fiercely, shut up, I don't have a bastard cousin like you. If you say that I am your cousin outside, I will beat you to death. That the so-called uncles and aunties of the Qin family were standing around, but no one came out. There was only disgust and contempt on their faces. Qin Hongyang blushed at Ji Wufeng's rebuke and said coldly, Grandpa is right, a bastard is a bastard. Not only is he uneducated, he is also not well raised. Ji Wufeng's eyes turned cold and he said, say it again. Qin Hongyang sneered, what's the matter if you say it again? You were born to a wild man that my cousin found outside. What are you if you are not a wild man? Snapped. Ji Wufeng stepped forward, raised his palm and slapped him with a big mouth. Qin Hongyang staggered due to the whipping, covered his mouth full of blood and said in shock, you little bastard, how dare you hit me? Bang! Ji Wufeng slapped him again, this time with more force. Qin Hongyang fell to the ground and passed out. Everyone was stunned. They didn't expect Ji Wufeng to dare to hit Qin Hongyang, and to do so harshly. However, although Lu Shuangshuang and other employees were very relieved to see Qin Hongyang being beaten like this, they were also angrier at Ji Wufeng. The matter between the Gao family and the Yu family has not yet been resolved, and they may have to rely on the Qin family for help. Now it would be better to bring Qin Hongyang to. Didn't the fight like this mean to anger the Qin family? Hey, Qin Yi is really promising. He has raised such a capable son. Gao Mingxin on the side laughed ferociously.